Tomodachi Life. What a game. What a weird game. It's so wild and wacky, but full of charm. I absolutely loved this game growing up. The wacky situations your Miis can get into, seeing them live their lives on your island, there was nothing else like it. At least, that's what I thought. After the announcement of the brand new Tomodachi Life coming to Nintendo Switch, I was absolutely ecstatic. My favourite 3DS game was back, and with more polygons than ever before. Naturally, I was very normal about this, so much so that I began to celebrate with some friends that Tomodachi Life 2 was real. So I didn't know this, but Tomodachi Life is actually a sequel to the game Tomodachi Collection on the DS. Salutations everyone, my name is Allan Aldroid, and I figured out what game I'm playing for the next few days. Just in case you are as confused as I was, Tomodachi Collection is a Japanese exclusive DS game released on the 18th of June 2009 and funnily enough is actually the birthplace of Miis. This game was developed as a spiritual successor to another Japanese exclusive game called Tokuto Hamtaro Tomodachi Daisuken Detchu, a fortune-telling game. This version, however, was designed as, and I quote, a version that adult women can play. Yeah, that's right, no girls allowed. This is a man's game. This came from a time when Nintendo was eager to expand their player base to a much more casual audience. In this case, adult women. The game was to be titled Otono no Ononai Techo, which translates to the Adult Women's Fortune-Telling Notebook. I've yet to find another title for a game as exciting as this. The game was designed to be similar to Hamtaro, where players could input data about their friends and family such as age, birthday, you know, things we've been told to never share online, and in return, the game would spit out the fortunes of the people you've added in. However, as time went on, the game slowly morphed from just being a virtual notebook into the wacky life simulation we know today, mainly because of the inclusion of Miis. Based on the Japanese game Fukawari, the team created a simple character creator for the title, which was shown to Satoru Iwata, then Shigeru Miyamoto, and evolved into the Miis we now know and love. So if you ever look at your old Miis from years gone by, you have this game to thank for them. Funnily enough, the game that birthed the concept of Miis wasn't even the first DS game to include them. That prestigious title goes to Personal Trainer Walking. This will be the first and last time I talk about Personal Trainer Walking. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you that this is a Japanese exclusive game, so I'll be playing a fan translation. A very good fan translation, but still a fan translation. Unfortunately, no official English version of the game exists, so if you do decide to give this game a go, please bear that in mind folks. We'll touch upon why this game never left Japan later, but for now, let's dive into the world of Tomodachi Collection. Hey everyone, before we get started, I'd like to announce that memberships are now active for the channel. Yippee! More ways for me to make money. For the low price of £1.99 a month, you can get access to all new episodes of TheAldroid up to a week early before the rest of the world. Wowee! You also have access to 4 funky emojis for the comments and live streams. The membership feature is currently bare bones at the moment, so if you have any suggestions of what you'd like to see added to it, please feel free to leave it in the comment below. Any feedback is greatly appreciated. While memberships aren't necessary, they greatly help out the channel, and hopefully I can make it worth your while. Thank you so much for sticking around for so long. Now, onto the video. I started off by moving some Miis onto my island, named My Island. As you can tell, I was feeling very creative that day. And right off the bat, I'm hit with this very strange, this is so cool, seeing a feature I wouldn't normally associate with the Nintendo DS being on the Nintendo DS, but because it's on the Nintendo DS, it feels wrong feeling. I tried submitting this as a new discovery to the British Psychological Society, and they all pointed and laughed at me. Seeing the Mii Maker on a crusty DS screen is definitely a strange sight to behold, but from this you can see just how far we've come in terms of making Miis, since this is technically the first time they were done. Technically. The Mii Maker pretty much has all the same amount of functionality as its Wii counterpart, just with the added twinge of 256 by 192 pixels. I created a Mii for myself, red smackers and all, but I couldn't just live on an island by myself, that would be way too awesome. So I decided to make some buddies. Allow me to introduce you to the residents of my island. First of all, we've got Mr. Harold, Hello Students Jones, Femdroid, a woman who just got an awful haircut and is now mad about it, Mario, Princess Peach, Princess Daisy, Jimmy from At Dead of Night, Leon Kennedy, Big Smoke, and Default Me herself. Can you tell when I was reaching for ideas? Funnily enough, this game actually has more customization compared to Tomodachi Life, as this game allows you to put the blood type of your Mii. Sure. Now that we've been introduced to our characters, how about the gameplay? Well, it's definitely Tomodachi Life on the DS. You create your Miis, you watch them go about their lives, help them when they need you to, hilarity ensues. Most Mii problems are shown as a squiggle, both for regular problems and friendship stuff, with the green icon for when Miis want to play a game with you. However, I nearly missed this as this icon barely turned up in my gameplay. Throughout my time playing, I probably got minigames like 5 times max. Keep your Miis happy, they level up their happiness, and you can give them free stuff. It's such a weird thing to make into a progression bar if you think about it. Happiness. Imagine if we had that in real life. What? When your Mii gets enough XP, they level up, allowing you to give them either some gifts, a new room, a catchphrase, or a song. I'm not a musical person, so I thought I would create another Mii who would sort that stuff out for me. Someone who had the talent to create some amazing songs, incredibly popular, but also had to be in the public domain so I didn't have to pay for licensing fees. I made Ludwig van Beethoven. There's definitely a weird novelty coming back to this game and playing it. Very different to going back to playing Sims 1 after only playing 4, for example. 1 is a groundbreaking evolution in the gaming world and a masterclass in how to design a game. And the other one's The Sims 4. Joking aside, you can definitely see the evolution between each game. Each one builds off of the other and either adds something new or puts a whole new spin on the series. Here it feels oddly unnatural, almost like looking at a fan-made demake. There's a lot that's different between the two games, but there's also so many similarities that it kinda makes it hard to argue for a reason to go back to this one. Some items like clothing, room styles, scenarios, and sound effects are exactly the same between each game, with little to no alterations between them. Sure, they're better looking thanks to the 3DS hardware, but still, to the average player, they're probably not gonna notice the changes. That doesn't mean I didn't have fun with this game though. It's still got all the Tomodachi seasonings that I fell in love with, and it's remarkable to see how much they got right in the first game. Your Miis have their likes, dislikes, loves and hates, they have best friends and can even get married. While some of these aren't as in-depth as Tomodachi Life, it's still really cool to see all of this, just with that DS crust on top. Taking a look at the island, you can immediately see that there are a couple of differences compared to its 3DS counterpart. You've got the classics like the clothing store, food mart, room shop, fountain, menus, and pawn shop, however no hat store. I wish I knew this before I made Mario capless. Sorry buddy. We do have a few exclusive features that Tomodachi Life doesn't have however. For starters, we've got the career counselor. Offer up a Mii who's got their job programmed in and the game will spit out a funky job for them to do. Secondly, we have the question hall. This is actually where Judgment Bay and quirky questions are housed, instead of being strewn around other locations like in Tomodachi Life. Speaking of locations, there's a lot of functional places, but not really any hangout spots for your Miis to visit. The game might say that your Mii's gone out on a stroll, but for the life of me, I can't find where they actually go. Not only that, but this game doesn't have a call button like in Tomodachi Life, meaning if there's a Mii you want to give some new clothes to, for example, you're gonna have to wait until they're back in their apartment. Your Miis are mainly stuck in the apartment building, where most of the gameplay is going to be. The fountain has 3 main events going on, such as the market, Let's Speak English, and Street Life, but apart from that, that's really it. Come here once a day for some sweet donations from your residents and spend it all on giving them grapes. For the first few days, all my Miis did was get to know each other, eat some food, and not much else. Immediately Harry and I got into a fight, but then he had a red bean bun and began to break it down, so I think we're good. If I was to replay this game again, I'd probably make a few more Miis. I thought 12 would be fine for this playthrough, but I ended up having very little to do sometimes. That's not to say that the Miis are boring though, they still have lots of personality. They hang around in each other's apartments, play around with the gifts you give them. But something that made Tomodachi Life so memorable to me was just seeing them out and about. A lot of this game feels very stationary as, like I said before, there's no hangout spots for them to visit. Having your Miis actually leave their apartments and go on walks, meet at the cafe and hang out together made the Miis feel more alive, instead of them just being holed up in their apartments all the time. In addition to that, there's not really any fun extras that you can do with your Miis like in Tomodachi Life. After seeing the timed events, all you really have left is quirky questions and Mii news, and there's oh so much quirk you can put in your questions before I get bored. In terms of other aspects of gameplay, Tomodachi Collection still has a lot of the wackiness that I've come to love with the game, although a lot of it is fully surpassed by Tomodachi Life. Doesn't mean I didn't have fun though, especially when it came to friendships and romances. For some reason, every day for 10 days straight when I'd log into the game, someone was fighting with someone. When I'm playing the game, everyone gets on like a house on fire, but the second I close the game, they actually set the house on fire. Apparently, Femdroid is a massive hit with the guys, as 3 people asked her out. 2 of them on the same flipping day. It started with Harry asking her out. Don't ask me how I feel about Mr. Jones dating a female copy of myself. She said yes, good for them. But then immediately afterwards, Leon Kennedy asks her out. Femdroid, clearly not a fan of polyamory, rejects him. Poor choice if I'm honest. But hey, at least I can keep him to myself. However, apparently Femdroid is also okay with cheating, as Jimmy Dead of Night, out of all people, asks her out a week later. And she says yes. She leaves behind a heartbroken Mr. Jones so she could be with Jimmy Dead of Night. Sure, out of all people on the island, Jimmy. Well, you know what they say, love is blind. And so is Femdroid. And after a couple of weeks of dating, apparently, I have not seen them hang out at all together during my playthrough, they become happily married and the credits roll. Yeah, after marriage, that's it really. You do get a funny picture book of them dating, classic Tomodachi shenanigans, and then that's it. They still live in their separate apartments, so it's just treated like dating Mark II. No living together, no kids, just more Tomodachi Collection. And I think that's basically it for this game. While I still had a lot of fun with this game, personally, Tomodachi Life just does it all way better. Though wacky random events happen more often and more naturally, there's more to do and see, and while Tomodachi Life did have its moments of waiting around for things to happen, it's a lot more prevalent in this game. While this is definitely a fun game to come back to and try for a bit, most people playing this are probably Tomodachi Life fans who are just curious about this release. In my opinion, just stick to the 3DS game. Now, a couple of you elephant-eared listeners might have noticed that I haven't been playing much audio from the game. Well, firstly, I'm talking, pay attention to me please. One of the things that made Tomodachi Life so memorable was the funky text-to-speech voices that gave the Miis their charm. And this game has it as well, so why haven't I showcased it yet? Remember when I said I'll be talking about why this game never left Japan? You see, despite the fact that Nintendo were reportedly really interested in a Western release of the game, the problem was, the text-to-speech wasn't powerful enough to handle all the different sounds used in the English language. Japanese is a phonetic language, meaning that despite there being up to thousands of characters in the language, most of these characters are always pronounced in the same way. Meanwhile, what the hell is going on here? Why is xylophone spelt with an X? Why are there so many words spelt similarly but pronounced in different ways? Tomb? Why only with one O? Is this a boom? Why so many silent letters? English is a hard language for humans to learn. Do you really think the DS could handle it? No, the answer's no, and that's why we never got a Tomodachi Collection release over here. And that's not even considering other languages as well. Unless the language was a phonetic one like Japanese, you could bet your top and bottom dollar it would have been extremely hard to get the voice synthesizer to work on the DS without sounding like a creature from hell. While I don't doubt that the game would have been successful in the West, I'm so glad that we got the upgrade instead. Am I saying this because I'm spoilt for choice in Tomodachi Life? Yes, I'm not going to deny that. This game, while fun, is pretty bare bones compared to Tomodachi Life, and you can experience everything this game pretty much has to offer in a few days worth of gameplay. My main problem is that while more bare bones, there's not really much difference between each game to justify playing this one over what is essentially a more expanded version. Yeah, it's great to gawk at the fact that this is a game you love but on more primitive hardware, but once that wears off, you're probably just gonna go back to the 3DS game. I mean, for goodness sake, the Miis have barely anything to do. No wonder they're holed up in their apartments all the time. There's nowhere for them to go. How are you bested by personal trainer walking?